Hey, it's 3D Printing Life here with a quick update on the Eclips3D. I'm going to go through a lot in this, and I'm going to try to go through fairly quickly because I got stuff to do. So let's start with the small stuff first because I'm sure you guys see the big change, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. I put in bolts. I put in color-coded bolts, so the colors represent the lengths. Starting from like yellow is the shortest, or I think red's the shortest, going into blue being the longest. So what that helps me do is it helps me optimize the bolt usage, and it allows me to basically filter out any unneeded bolt lengths. Like here I have an M3x16, but I have a few M3x14s, a few M3x20s, no other M3x16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these with shorter ones because they can't go longer because of this pulley. So I'm going to drop that in another 2mm and replace it with an M3x14, and that's done. So that's going to be good. I worked a bit on the X gantry, I believe no, maybe not on the extruder, but I did work on this guy a bit. I have it open. I put in some belt mounts. These were just really quick temporary, but they may actually stay because they're fairly decent. I'll see how they hold up. This ducting is now going all the way through, and it does work. I tested it with a fan in real life, as do the belt mounts. And then here I'm going to have to put in the belt tensioning system. Because it's Core XY, there's actually two different segments of belt that are completely separate, and they're both going to join up here, so I'm going to have to tension them both here. So I'm probably just going to have something similar to what I had on the 3-up, and that should be good to go. Coming back here. Oh, one more thing, a pretty big change. For the M3 nuts, I am doing away with these hex nuts, which, well, they're not in here. And I actually just bought some square nuts from Misumi, and when bought in bulk, those cost, well, they cost quite significantly more because I was getting the M3 nuts dirt cheap, but these guys are still like $3 for 100 of the square nuts. And what that means is that these little slots should be a bit more accurate. They should be easier to push those square nuts in, and the square nuts should stay still. Shouldn't like spin in their slots or anything like that because they're squares instead of hexagons, so you know, more torque and stuff like that. So that should be good. I'll be getting those in soon, probably in a week or so, and then I got to start redesigning all the parts so that they can accept these square nuts instead of the standard hex nuts. So yeah, so let's get on to the big change. This guy, kind of unavoidable. As it is now, these are on the wrong side. They're supposed to be mounted from the underside, but I didn't feel like changing them, so that's how they are now. But what is this? This is a complete overhaul. If you remember the old Z-axis, it was a mess. I had two of these bushings. I had two of them on each rail, spaced apart. I had aluminum panels on each side that were fairly big. I had extrusions coming out. I had an aluminum panel on the front. I had two aluminum panels along the bottom to put the bolts through to mount the bed, and then I had a few cross pieces, and then a nut block with the cross piece, and I think I had another, or I was going to put in another cross piece, but I didn't. Anyway, huge mess. So I simplified it a lot. This actually was inspired a bit by the Maker Gear M2, fairly, I would say. It's basically just a 1/4-inch aluminum plate that has been cut out in sort of a triangle. The middle has been cut out for weight reduction, and that's it. It's got bolt holes to mount. It's got tapped holes in here to mount the these bearings. They're linear bearings too, so they should be better with the torque. And then there's going to be a little nut block in there. And yes, they are tapped, so you just put the screw right through these guys and you screw right into this piece and you're done. There's no nuts or anything on the Z-axis, which is awesome. Yeah, so that's the big change right there, and the main reason this is possible is because of eMachine Shop. There's probably other, I mean, I know there's other machine shops out there, but this one's just so easy to use. It was so easy to optimize my design because you can literally just find the price out right away. Don't get too excited, this isn't the actual price for them because these aren't finished. But yeah, so I mean, I could just make changes, see how it reflected the price, and then just keep going back and forth until I got a really low price and still had the strength I wanted. If you're concerned about strength, it is 1/4 inch, so it's fairly hefty aluminum if you've never handled 1/4 inch aluminum before. So it's rigid stuff. These bars going across are 30 millimeters wide, these, I guess, triangle pieces. And in SolidWorks and in Autodesk tests, stress tests, I found that under the weight of the gantry plus another pound of load, it only deviates by about 0.1 millimeters, which is nothing at all. Under a 2-pound load, it's like 0.2, and then under a 4-pound load, under a 4-pound load, it's 0.3 millimeters. So if you ever print bricks out, you'll be fine. No, but that's plenty. It's more rigid than a good portion of printers out there, so it should be fine. And to be honest, it's probably going to be a bit more rigid than my old design, just because the old one had so many bolt joints that each one of those has a little bit of give to it. So this should be good. I really am not worried about this design at all. In fact, I'm getting ready to order my prototype unit pretty soon, which is going to be quite expensive, but whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, that's the main change right there. Oh, and this is going to be, in case you care, it's going to be 50-52 aluminum. Yeah, I believe that one's it. And it's going to be like bead blasted, which is just going to give it like a matte texture. So nothing too fancy. I might have it a stretch goal where you can get it like anodized, black anodized plates and stuff like that, but that's stuff to be determined later. So yeah, that's the main change right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Oh, this also should give a bit more Z travel because these are only 50 millimeters tall as opposed to 100. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the main changes. The main change, I should say, and then some small ones. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Definitely going to be more progress in real life very soon, so keep an eye out for those videos. I'll be ordering this plate soon. I've already ordered all the other parts for the Z-axis. Just have to order the plate. So that should be exciting, especially when that comes in. That'll be my first real machined part. I'm still waiting on these panels. They'll probably come in before the bed, but whatever. So pretty cool, pretty exciting, and really can't wait to see how this comes together. At this point, I mean, before I was worried about the Z-axis, but now that I came up with this design and it's really not that expensive, I'm honestly not worried at all about the printer, which is a little bit concerning because it means that something's going to pop up and surprise me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all later.